Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on a Friday night, where tonight I'm going to teach you how, like I haven't already taught you. We're going to be doing a God Bless America Wreath for the patriotic holidays. So this is perfect for putting on your door like as early as next week. If you purchase this today, it'll be there by next week. But patriotic is what is hot. It's what's trending right now. So if you're debating when should you jump in, don't wait. You should be making it now. Number one, Memorial Day is at the very end of this month. And then you have 4th of July rolling around a couple months later. And then about 6 weeks later, you have Labor Day, you have Veterans Day. So this will probably be, for most buyers, the one design that they keep up on their front door from like now until they're ready to make the transition to Halloween or fall. So if you haven't started, you want to jump in and do this early. Before we get started and I tell you everything where it's all from, if you're new, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let us know, hi, I'm new and I'm from, because what ends up happening is so many people are looking to find a crafting connection. And a lot of those happen on a Facebook Live. So when you say, hi, I'm new, I'm from Victorville, California, then people are like, oh my God, I'm in like the next city over. And then you start a conversation that happens that way. If you want to get notified when we go live, because Facebook's changing stuff all the time, make sure you like and follow this page. Once you do that, you're going to want to tap on the screen to turn your notifications on when lives happen. And you can do this on anyone's Facebook Live. So you tap on the video, you're going to get 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. Click those 3 dots. It gives you a little sub menu that pops up and you can turn your live notifications on or off. For YouTube subscribers, because these are Facebook Lives that happen on Friday, for example, tonight is Friday, May 21st of the year 2020. If you get this on that particular day, it's not that it's going live in YouTube. It's just a pre-recorded from a Facebook Live earlier. However, you can leave comments below. I will respond to your questions. The companies that I use, like the ribbon and where the sign from, you'll find in the description box below for YouTubers. You'll also want to click the subscribe button, which is the little bell in the upper right-hand corner that notifies you when we drop a new video in for you guys to watch. If you like this design, and I know right now patriotic supplies are hard to find, but if you're ready to make it, once you get everything in or get stuff that's close, just click the share button below. It'll share it to your page. So much easier to find when you're ready to make this design and follow the tutorial. And that's all I have for you guys. And I didn't bring my tablet, so I can't really see comments, so I'm going to rely on Steve. Whatever. Okay, so let me go over what is what. So I'm in love with the sign. I've been in love with the sign when I first saw it. It's the same sign vendor who incorporated the sign behind me, and you would find her on Etsy. It's Personalize It By Pam. Steve will post the link to her shop below. That's where you can get her signs. What I like about good quality sign vendors or wreath making supplies is, can you ship it quick? Nobody wants to wait for 2 or 3 weeks for their order to be filled, especially like right now. Patriotic's hot, patriotic's trending. We kind of want patriotic now. So you'll want to check her out. She's got a ton of gorgeous signs. The ribbons are wide variety. Most of them come from Craft Outlet, Kringle Designs, and then Shinoda, which is a wholesaler out here in California. Now, some of these designs that I'm using tonight have already been discontinued. Some of them are on back order for about the next 90 days, which doesn't really help us when we need this now. So always use your resources, Amazon, Etsy. You can find a lot of different sources when you go to search for them by like patriotic ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I've done the first 5 sections for you. We're going to tackle the last one so that you know what I did in the other 5. We are going to use our weld marks as our guides. And for some of you, this is like the millionth time that you've heard this, but for some other viewers, this is the first time they're hearing it. So just kind of bear with me on this part. So you're going to use your weld marks as your guides, and you're going to kind of find a middle ground for your pipe cleaner. And what you're going to do is you're going to wire together the two innermost rings together, and that gives you some stability for your pipe cleaner so they don't wobble all over the place, and that you don't have to glue your pipe cleaners to the frame. And then once we do this, we are going to use this one and the weld mark and kind of find a halfway point here, and we're going to wire together the outside too. And on the other side, so that each section has 3, 1 on the inner 2, 2 on the outer 2. So that gives you a grand total of 12 to the outside, 6 on the inside, for a grand total of 18 altogether. Cool? Okay. And feel free to post questions. Steve, my husband, is fielding those for me. So be patient, because sometimes they get missed on a Facebook Live, and as you guys know, sometimes you have to log out and log back in to get a refresh on your screen. So,
and sometimes I won't even see the comment. I might have to log out and log back in.
Yeah, we did a demo one time where I was like, okay, what's your most recent comment? He would say one thing. I was like, you don't have this one? He's like, I don't even see that one. So that's just the world of a Facebook Live.
And her link for the sign is pinned at the bottom.
Okay, so Personalize It by Pam for the sign. This one and this one are pinned at the bottom for you guys if you want to shop. We are using a red, white, and blue metallic Deco mesh. These are cut to 20-inch pieces. We're going to ruffle. And the one thing I like about this design, and one thing you can't see because it's like recorded, even, you know, the greatest pictures aren't going to show it, is how vivid and it's almost like a translucent quality to the sign. You can really see the depth of that royal blue pulling through the signs. So that's what I'm kind of emphasizing by doing our traditional red, white, and blue, and we're popping it with more of a royal blue instead of a navy. So on my ruffles, they are going, finished edges go to the inside and the outside. This is because if a customer is going to store this or fluff it or store it, they're going to basically be touching the outside edges. So we want that finished edge to be what they touch. That prevents fraying from occurring. So we're just going to start, or I start on the inside, and I just go to the very next pipe cleaner I happen to get to. And I know, based on this sign, which is a 10-inch round, this is brand new for her shop, I'm not going to need these. Between the bow and the sign, the inside 6 for me are just holding my Deco mesh, and then everything else is to the outside. So this one, it'll go inside, outside, outside, inside, and I just keep going all the way around. And a question was posed is like, people think that when you're ruffling, there's an exact measurement that happens as you're pulling your Deco mesh towards you, and there really isn't. You're kind of just gathering these as you're pulling your fingers forward. You're just grabbing the next section and pulling those. So someone had actually asked, what is the dimension between your pleats? And it's like, there really isn't any. You're just kind of pulling that Deco mesh towards you, and that's what gives it the wavy ruffle effect. So it's not really pleats, but then I guess it kind of looks like pleats.
I'll zoom in on the next one so they can see it.
Okay, so let me go ahead and grab another one. So I use the scissors just to keep my fabric flat, because if it doesn't and it starts to get close to the roll, like the end of the roll, it really tightly curls. Then when you're trying to curl like this, as I'm trying to ruffle, you'll see it rolls back on itself. Sometimes it will connect, and then it's really hard for you to get like a flush ruffle on there. but just baby little ones. And then you're just going to lay that right inside your pipe cleaner. And this will create a really nice look. So outside, just a couple twists. Inside, I'm doing about 5 and then removing the excess for the inside ones.
Gloria Brink said, I see others place it the opposite way. You're the first one I've seen done it that way, and now I know why.
Really?
Awesome, yeah.
I wouldn't think that you would lay them that other way, because I think that they would just, you would run into them too much. So here's the thing. If people are doing a pancake style wreath, that only has 12 pipe cleaners. You basically have one on the inside and one on the outside. And what you're doing is basically taking your ruffle and making a really large round circle. So I'll show you right here when I go ahead and twist this one. So before it looked like a bow tie. And I'll snip that off. So what they'll do is they'll take the ends, they'll pull the ends all the way around to where you have these flat little circles. It looks like a doily. And then you're basically taking one on the inside, one on the outside, so that you have a total of 12 of these little round doilies, and that makes up a pancake wreath. And that's where I'm thinking that they might lay them the opposite direction, but either way, you're still getting a finished edge all the way around. I just find if you do it inside, outside, there's less of a possibility of it fraying. By the way, this deco mesh was all cut with a wood burning tool. That helps kind of reduce the amount of fraying that happens.
Wow, you just read the next comment.
Sorry. You pretty much can like...
They just asked, what did you use to cut? And I typed it in and you just said it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect.
So I'm always trying to think of like step-by-step methods of like what logically would be questions new people who are new to this would ask, would want to know.
Yep.
So this is actually the easiest deco mesh method. So if you've never done a deco mesh wreath, this is the easiest method for you to start, because there's really no way for you to mess it up. So see, this is why I said it looks like a bow tie right now. And then you can allow it to fan out, and then it kind of forms these little circles. And that's what a pancake wreath is. They just don't use as many. They're trying to keep it as thin as possible so that it fits between a storm door. And if you're using less than quality deco mesh, you're gonna see that frame right through the mesh. So that's the downside of the pancake wreath. Trying to think of the next question that might pop up. Can't think of anything else.
And Kat's been using the wood burning tool for a long time because it's pretty much been proven, tried and true. I mean, it eliminates about 90% of the fraying.
What I find interesting is the people who shied away from the wood burning method, like they're like, that's not a good method. I would never do that. It's funny how those people are starting to use the wood burning method, because they are starting to see that there's a huge difference in the quality of what your end product looks like. And, you know, you don't have all those little frays that you have to trim and cut. So I just found it interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Barbara asked, what's the size of the sign? That is a 10-inch sign.
It's a 10-inch round. So on her site, she does have the 8-inch. So if you're looking for this one, make sure it's the 10-inch. Which I like. I like the 10-inch now over the 12-inch. So I was thrilled because when I ordered all my signs, that popped up in my order, and she's like, hey, I just want to let you know this is our new size. And I was like, oh, that's so perfect. If I would have known that, I would have ordered 10 inches instead of 8, but this will still work.
And there was a question here that I'm trying to go back and find it.
Let me look.
Something about using a smaller, like 8-inch base, 8-inch form. What size sign would you use? And I wouldn't go anything over a 6 or 8 inch sign then.
So on an 8-inch round?
Yeah, like an 8 inch or a 10 inch round.
Yeah. I mean, that's really starting to trend into the micro level. The only way you're going to know for sure is to start one. I've never made ones that small with any signs that I purchase now, which are currently, like, I'm trying to think. Okay, this is a 14-inch round wreath, but by the time I lay all my Deco mesh on there, it's going to create a 24-inch to 25-inch base, which means that for me to put a 12-inch sign on it, it's like going to take up about 50% of the real estate. So if you think about that, on an 8-inch frame or a 10-inch frame, you might get away with an 8-inch sign. Again, it would depend on what method you're using, what kind of coverage, what kind of design, what does your sign look like. You almost have to start going way smaller. You know, like 5x7s would probably be the biggest rectangular sign that I would probably go on a size that small.
And thank you, Marianne and Sharon. They both sent 50 stars.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, okay, so that's new. So what stars are, for people who see the little star icon next to your thumbs up and your heart, stars are basically like tips. So each star that you send is 1 cent. So it's like kind of a way that you can thank people that are doing your Facebook Lives. Because like right now during the Facebook Lives, there's no ads running because I don't have what they call in-stream ads. So stars are like, hey, here's a way to say thanks. Or if you're doing fundraising, like we will probably start doing a little bit closer to the holidays, is you can set a goal and people can help you contribute to that goal. So thank you for those that sent stars. And those are something that eventually you'll get. I think you have to have 600,000 Facebook Live viewable minutes before you get the option for stars. So there's that fun fact. Okay. Slowly getting there. Push that to the side.
How many hours that is?
Ugh, I don't know.
How many minutes did you say?
600,000. There's another way that you can get it in a roundabout kind of way, but it goes for video gamers. So if you have a video game Facebook page set up, that's basically how video gamers are paying for their favorite players to host a video game session. But you have to set up a video game page, and then all the other stuff just looks way different. So you kind of lose some functionality if you're used to certain things on a Facebook business page. Or you can just be patient and wait.
And I pinned, once again, the sign down below from Personalize It By Pam on Etsy.
Okay.
You can just click on that HTTPS link and it'll take you right to her shop.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Okay. What do you guys think of the base color for this? It was interesting because I had 3 different colors out. I had a solid royal blue, high metallic. I had a solid, it's in between a burgundy and a red, high metallic. And then we did one that was, what was it going to be, white and blue, metallic. And I was like, you would think with as little red as in the sign, the red would have paired. It would have really popped the red, but it didn't. So I was like, it's either got to be blue, but you kind of lose the blue border around the outside when you do that. Yeah. So we were leaning towards the blue and white, and then lo and behold, I happened to have 1 roll of this left. And I was like, this is perfect. Let's use it for this design. This works.
I am definitely missing comments because I'm looking here on the camera. And I can see them come up really quick, but I'm just not getting them.
What's your last comment that you see?
Well, I just created the last comment was all meshes cut to 20 inches.
Oh, I don't. Okay, I saw that one.
But there's a couple before that. Somebody had said, I gotta go back and look.
Because I was like, I saw Janie said hi, Kat, and Anna said hello, everyone.
Somebody had said that was 10,000 hours.
Ooh.
And I don't see that comment.
I don't see that
it's
either.
Really frustrating.
That's when you just go back and read it afterwards.
Well, I just go out and go back in.
Yeah, that's the true benefit of live, right? Okay, we're down to the last 3 pieces. Last one on the inside, and then 2 more. This is such a huge difference because the last couple tutorials I think we've done, it's been fabric mesh, right? Or jute mesh. So I'm so used to having like debris field everywhere because with the jute or fabric mesh, you can't cut it with the wood burning tool. It all requires you to do it with the rotary cutter. So you have a mess. You have frays. But that's the beauty about the natural. Is it's a little bit softer. That'll be my daughter calling.
Wow.
It knows mom's in the middle of her Facebook Live. Oh, you already answered Gloria's question. May I ask what mesh you do not cut with a wood burning tool?
Yeah, I was just about
Fabric jute. So anything with a natural fiber in it. So if it's got little twine, you're not going to be able to cut through that with the wood burning tool. It's just, you'll get to a point where as you're cutting along, you'll hit that cotton or jute fiber, and then all it will do is smoke. So.
Yep. Karen had said, it's gorgeous, so bright, I love it. I didn't see that one. Donna said, how long we got the mesh? Everything's cut to 20 inches. And it was Faith that said that's 10,000 hours.
Oh, that's a lot of hours.
It is. It doesn't.
But I've been doing this
for 3 years.
over 3 years now.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the base, and look at how gorgeous and full that is with this high metallic. And the reason why I call it higher metallic is because if you look at mesh, it's got little rows or columns in it. And this one, the foil is placed every other row. So you see a lot of that vivid metallic iridescent type of look to the wreath. Now what we're gonna do is look. So this is a 10-inch round. So when I place this in the sign, look at how perfect a 10-inch mesh works. Like most of us are used to working with a 12-inch sign or an 8-inch. I'm really liking the 10-inch designs. So, because it gives you a lot more of your wreath left to work. So on this one, what we're gonna do right now is I'm going to lay in my 2.5-inch tails. So we have this, which is called Land of the Free. So it's like America, it's like Land of the Free, Home of the Brave with a glittery red in it. And then this one's a weird ribbon. It actually has God Bless America, but the spacing in between the ribbon of where you'll hit the next God Bless America is like almost a good 10 or 12 inches. So the spacing on it is kind of odd. So we're going to be alternating these all the way around the outside 12. So we'll have the red and the white represent it, the stripes. And then the other one is the actual patriotic ribbon. So when I'm laying these in, as I'm alternating, let me show you. I'm going to take these are cut to 14-inch pieces. I've already dovetailed my ends. You're going to fold it in half to find your midway point. And then you're just going to gather or pinch your ribbon together. You are going to make sure they don't fall off. You want to make sure the words are going in the right direction. And then you're going to lay it right inside your pipe cleaner. Go ahead and give it 2 twists. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your tails and you're going to pull these down so that they kind of create like, I don't know, back in grade school. Well, back in grade school, they were like the rays of the sun. Like when you drew a sun, you did the circle and you made the rays. That's kind of what it's doing. So it's drawing the eyes outward.
So Melissa, she just pretty much answered that. If you have to choose between an 8-inch round sign and a 10-inch round sign on a 14-inch form, you would choose a 10-inch.
Yeah, because I haven't seen 10-inch rounds for a while. Or I think, I don't know, ever. Usually, I think what we're used to seeing is 8 and 12. So I'm loving the 10-inch rounds because it almost seems like the 8-inch is just a tad too small, but you can still make it work because maybe you want to add a lot more embellishments to it. Maybe you just want the sign right here, or it's great on a grapevine. Again, it's always going to depend on what you're doing, what your initial end design you're hoping is going to look like. So yeah, I'm loving the 10. So sign vendors, 10-inch rounds. Does work. Because those would even make for a nice, they would kind of look like what a 14 or 12-inch sign would look like on this one.
And it gives you more workspace.
It does. So I guess that's it. So if you want a ton of extra workspace, go bigger or go smaller. And then if you don't, you just kind of want to put a bow on it and end it, then go for a larger sign. This one's upside down. I just have the last little part of America. That's all it says. America. Because it's got such a long, it's like a delay. It's like this huge pause in the ribbon. So even when I've done other designs, I've actually gone in and cut all the excess out. But then I'm like, right where it says, God Bless America, that middle point is going into the center of your wreath, so you can't even really read it anyway. Okay. Keep going around.
Barbara, yes, this would take up one roll of 10-inch mesh.
Yes. So as long as you just have 18 or less pipe cleaners.
Right.
If you had 19, you're going to need another roll of mesh.
And you said what, you can actually kind of get away with like the first 6 at 19 inches and then
yeah, because sometimes they don't quite put a full, what is it, 360 feet on the
inches, yeah.
Or yeah, whatever on the, no, is it 360 inches?
Well,
it's 30 feet.
30 feet.
Right. So sometimes they're a little off on their calculations, which means that if you're banking on that to be the full, like true 30 feet, and at 18 times 20 inches should use up that full roll right to the end. But I've had it happen way too often when I'm getting down to like piece number 17. There's not enough on the roll to make that 18th cut. Mm-hmm. So sometimes what I've done is on the inside 6, I will make those at like 19 or 19 and a half. And then it kind of gives me the insurance that I'll have enough to go all the way through. It's just happened too much. You come up short, and it seems like we're coming up short more and more instead of less and less. So it's going to make me start to question, you know, when they say they're 10-yard rolls, is it really 10-yard rolls or is it like 9.75? Why did I miss somebody's question? Someone said, sorry for your loss, Judy. Sad face.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I'm not seeing that either. You can go back
Oh,
easier.
see now, so I had to log out and log back in. This is Judy Russell. I haven't got to watch for a long while. I was taking care of my sister. She passed away December 14th from COVID. So sorry, Judy.
It's got to be tough. I can't even imagine what that's like. We need to get the world back to operational status because people need to be with people. You know, I can't even imagine people who are spending their final moments either in hospice or in a hospital and you can't be with your family members.
And then Sharon said, I think my favorite ribbon is the white 2.5-inch red edging stars that says Land of the Free.
Yeah, it says Land of the Free, Home of the Brave.
And a big America.
And a big America. Right?
Hi, Debbie. Hi, gals. Just joining.
Hi, Debbie. Okay. Last one. And then we will go in and I'm going to add in my, whatchamacallit.
Melissa did say that Three Birds Nest also has 10-inch rounds.
Does she really?
Yeah, so.
Okay. I know everybody's changing up the sizes of their sign, which is so nice because sometimes for so long, you know, you had what you had and that was it.
Thank you, Melissa, for letting us know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So that just makes me more determined to make sure I'm checking the measurements of my signs instead of just default, you know, click, 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 add to cart. Okay, so I'm going to go back in now with this 1.5 inch. We have the royal blue canvas. It has the red, white, and blue stars. This we're going to add to the red and white striped. And then this one's actually called Stars and Stripes Wavy on white. I'm trying to think. One of those, if you look it up, is discontinued, Steve. Is it the Home of the Brave? I wrote right next to it.
Home of the Brave America is the discontinued.
Is
one.
discontinued.
Craft outlet.
Can you believe this? They discontinued this ribbon. What?
But you might be able to find it elsewhere.
Yeah, like whoever still has it, those are like the remnants.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put half bows in, which means bring your 18-inch pieces together, so your tails are together, and you're going to go about 2 inches up and kind of pinch in, so you have this nice little loop. And then we said we're going to put this on the red and white stripe. So this is going to go right inside our pipe cleaner. Are you zoomed in?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to twist this. I'm not going to twist the pipe cleaner all the way off, but we will kind of finalize and put our 5 twists in. And then you are going to need to flip one of these sides around so that you have, it's kind of like a 3D awareness ribbon, so that you kind of have stars with stripes. And then what I'm going to do on the pipe cleaner is I'm going to take this down, probably about half as much on my pipe cleaner, because we're going to embellish it with some glitter balls, just to give it even more glitter and punch. So, did I do that right? Nope. This is supposed to go on the other. So, let me just untwist that.
Well, you put it on the wrong.
The blue is supposed to go on the white, otherwise it's white on white. And it doesn't create the wow factor. Originally, it was going to go on the red.
Sorry, one of the gals asked, could you make a bigger poof? Like instead of 2 inch, could you do like a 3 inch?
Oh yeah.
On a half bow? Sure.
Yeah, I just found that 2 inches is like perfect because I want the length of my tails to be just a tad shorter than the tails underneath, so that you can still kind of see what's there. So like this is the length. So this is the finished length of an 18-inch with a 2-inch loop. So if you did 3, maybe you want to do your 1.5 inches down to maybe 20-inch, so that you can go a little bit bigger on the loop. It just depends on what are you looking for.
Right.
So we'll We'll zip all these in.
Wow, Linda said was able to get mesh at Joann's for 60% off.
Nice.
Mostly spring and 4th of July.
Ours didn't have any 4th of July.
And,
Ours doesn't have anything.
And Joann's has almost discontinued most of their mesh at our Joann's, right? They almost have nothing.
Yeah, like, what was it? The summer mesh we kind of saw, but it was more like our local Joann's, and there's only one in our entire region. They didn't have anything, so I had to go look online to what everybody else was saying. Oh, look, here's what Joann's is carrying. Ours had nothing. And it just might be that ours is choosing not to carry it anymore. But yeah, I haven't seen our Patriotic yet. Now I'm going to go look. Not a Kat's research project. So, the only reason I'm doing the outside embellishments first over the sign and the bow is because we end up like moving the bow 4 or 5 times as we go through, and we're adding, you know, a tail to it, and then we come back around and we add the 1.5-inch ribbon to it, and then we come back around and we add the little balls to it. So I just felt less disturbed. So we're mixing it up. Oh, thanks, Judy. You guys, I think, our viewers, the people that tune in and watch, you guys are our biggest inspiration.
Yeah, I told her we'd add her to our prayers too.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone's interested, we are starting our Bible study this Tuesday. It's in a separate group. It's in Kat's Creations Bible Study. And we're doing a 7-week study in the book of Elijah. So if you'd like to join, you can go over to the Kat's Creations Bible Study page. You can click on that and just request to join. And then we start this Tuesday at 6 Pacific, because we want to give everyone an opportunity to get home so that nobody's stuck watching a replay. So 6 Pacific, 8 Central, and 9 on the East Coast side. So it's only for an hour. We just finished up Proverbs 31, which was amazing. And so everyone was like, we are continuing, right? And I was like, sure. Yeah. Didn't plan on it. But I agree. It's kind of like when I read my Bible through the whole year. I'm like, okay, done. Check that off my list. And then come January 1st, it's like you look at that because it's been a habit for 365 days. I'm like, why do I feel like I have to pick it up and keep going? So we do. Because every year, every day, there's something new to uncover.
I've had to log out Facebook like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, mine hasn't updated. The last comment was Debbie's. So, I know. So Rita says, how do you join the study? Just go to Kat's Creations Bible Study. So I think it's all smushed together. I have to go in and change the link on it. But if you just search for it in Facebook, Kat's Creations Bible Study, you'll find it. It's got a blue and pink banner on it. And then once I preview, the book that we're doing is from Priscilla Shear, her book on Elijah. So we actually voted. It was a choice between Ruth, Esther, and Elijah. And everyone said, let's do Elijah. So.
And what I thought was interesting was the book is from the author Priscilla Shear. Like you said, she was the real estate agent in the movie
The War Room.
The War Room.
Yeah, exactly. Which, all-time, huge, one of my favorite movies. So, yeah, you just never know how it comes around. Hi, Marlene. Sherry says Proverbs 31 is an awesome chapter to read. It was funny because for a lot of us, we didn't understand the whole Proverbs 31. Like, we all felt like we would never, ever measure up in the course of our lifetime or that was the goal for everyone to obtain. And what we came away with is it's a snapshot of what your life looks like during different seasons and times in your life. And how, like if it says she sews clothes for the needy, it wasn't that you have to be a great seamstress. It was you take the talents God gives you and uses them to benefit your family. Like she's not afraid to do that. And so some of us are like, whoosh, what a huge relief. Like now we have more grace to go about our day. Because it's not a checklist to complete.
Jeannie said, I love studying Proverbs 31. I learned so much, and you lead our group so well, Kat.
Oh, thanks, Jeannie. I think I learned so much from you guys because the questions that were prompting us to, you know, dig deeper into our studies about like how we feel as women, how do we feel as moms, as wives, and compared to everybody else who's like super this and super that. We just started to realize that we are right where we need to be and doing all the things. So it's such a huge validation point for us. Okay, couple more pieces, 3 to be exact. Then we will create our bow and add our sign, and then we should be finished. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Linda. Steve's like, who are those people? I don't see their comments.
Well, I just had to log back in too, so when I log back in, unfortunately, it says all these other people are watching. Like
Okay.
Edna, Charlotte, Mary, Linda, Hannah, Janine, Jean is watching, and they're all single lines.
How weird.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows you sometimes people are going out and then coming back.
Yeah,
and
I
it'll
think they're
say
having
like,
to log in and out too.
yeah, or they might go shopping and then come back.
Yep.
That's what I've noticed because that's what happens when I do that. I go out and then I come back. Okay. Alrighty. These blue pipe cleaners from Shinoda are so stiff. Okay. I like it when you don't add the sign to what you're doing, and then when you add the sign at the very end, it is such a like, it's the cherry on top of the sundae. You're just like, wow, that really like comes together.
Hi, gals, just joining. Hi, Valerie. I didn't see Gail.
She might be busy.
Right.
Or she might pop up and be like, oh, I missed it. Sorry. What was I thinking? I thought today was Thursday. Okay. So now we've got our little fans to the outside. This would actually make a really super cute centerpiece if you didn't add a sign to it right now. Because you could put a really nice hurricane lamp in and a really big pillar. And because all your half ribbons are all like fanning outward, it makes for a really nice touch. So nice for a centerpiece. Okay, ready to make the bow. Okay, we are going to start with the white so that if we started with the red and white, it would just lay right on top of the red, white, and blue already there. So we kind of want to pop that a little bit. I'm going to use my bow dabra. Let's get rid of these that I don't need. So we're going to dovetail our end. So there's a couple things. On the land of the free, home of the brave. I think the way that I want to do this design is when we have our sign, I want the bow at the bottom. Because there's so much detail in the sign that we would have so much covering anywhere. I kind of want it to be at the bottom so that it almost looks like a blue ribbon, like you have the round and then you have your tails. So I think that's the look we're going for there. So with that, we need to make sure that the words on this ribbon are all facing the same direction, which is always a challenge for a wreath maker. So the first thing we want to do is dovetail your ends which simply means bring your wired edges together. And then depending upon how deep you want your V, are you zoomed in? You are going to start, you're always going to be like going towards your wired edge point. So if you want a short V, you're going to go a little bit shallow. I like mine to have really deep V's. So this gives you that perfect look. And then this one you build outside your bow dabra. So I'm going to try to do this slow enough so you guys can catch on. So we are going to do a 12-inch tail because this is going to hang from the bottom. Actually, I think I want to do 16 inches so I can get that full America all the way in. Although you're not going to see the whole thing by the time you add it. Let's just do 14. So we're going to go 14 inches in, and I'm going to just gather this together at 14. Okay, I pinch it all together, and I'm going to slide it down. Okay, knowing that I want this to be a 5.5 inch loop, I need 11 inches because 5 plus or 5.5 and 5.5 gives you 11. So we're going to start pinching at the 11. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick up what's in your right hand, you're going to transfer it to your left hand. Okay? And then you're going to pull this back out, start back over, back to another 11 inches so we can make the other loop. Okay? You're going to do the same thing, although now you've got to kind of flip it upside down because you can't really do this. So you want to flip it. So we're transferring it here. Right. Am I doing that right? Why is this not looking right? Oh, hold on a sec. It is. Then we're going to go back out here. What did I say we did? 12. 14? 14. If not, I'll fix it. Okay.
That's a great compliment. Nancy Ann just said, Kat, just wanted to tell you that I watched a video on a designer who did a grapevine wreath. She didn't clean her wreath, and a lot of stuff was falling out. So grateful for your wreath cleaning tutorial. You're such a professional designer.
It helps. So I know it's a pain. It's the one thing that I was telling Steve keeps me from doing grapevines all the time is you have to do the tedious work of cleaning it because it makes it easier for you to insert all your florals in. Okay, so look, I just double checked this again. So here's my 5, here's my 11, right? Hold on. Here's my second one. I was just checking to make sure everything. So we do the same thing. We're transferring left or right to left. Okay. And then when you look at your ribbon now, see what I'm saying? How the words on the bows and the words on the ribbon are all in the right orientation. I don't have one ribbon tail wherever the wording is all upside down. This is all going in the same direction. I think this should have been 12. So let me just put a little indent there. So, because I don't want to stand here and hold this, this is where your bow dabra comes into play. You can hold that so that I can finish trimming this up and finish dovetailing this edge. And there we go. See, it looks pretty just like that. Okay. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the God Bless America. So you get to watch it again in case you didn't see it. So see what I'm saying is look at the gap between the wording on the ribbon. Like there is, I kid you not, almost 12 inches between. So dovetail again. They should have been more consistent, adding it all the way through, but they didn't. So this we're going to do 10 inches. Okay, we're going to measure 10 inches here for a 5-inch loop. It's got like a painted on surface. We're transferring from right to left, measuring out another 10. Go here to here, transfer right to left, and then we want to make sure we have this. So I double check all the writing on the ribbon. And why is this half of it's upside down and half of it's not?
Maybe one twisted.
Yeah, let me just try that one again. So here, 10 inches.
Oh, I saw our friend Karen from Scotland posted something. I'm waiting for it to hit
On your page?
on my page because she asked a question.
Okay.
She says she's been doing really well with the business. Remember they started their own craft supplies?
Oh, Karen Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she asked a question. I'm going to have to log
I got
out.
it fixed. Okay.
Log back in.
So
Hold on,
sometimes
Karen.
you just have to look. So here we go. Here's this. Here's the right side orientation. This doesn't have anything that we can see. Again, we're going to drop it right back into the Bodabra so we can dovetail this end, which is basically cut off the rest of the word America. But we need a good dovetail in there.
There it is. Okay. So yeah, Sid, I haven't been on much. We've been kept on the go since we started the business. Kat, can you tell me what we can do to stop others copying, if at all, or copying us, if at all possible?
What do you mean copying you? What exactly is it that they're copying? Your images? Your designs?
If they're starting a craft business as well, selling merchandise, I don't think there's much you can do.
That's, yeah, the nature of competition.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is finished. This one is finished. So now, while I wait for that clarification, we're gonna blend these a little bit. So this is my order of how they're now going to get fed into the Bodabra. So we're gonna go with our royal blue. And dovetailer end. I don't even see that comment.
Yeah, I had to log back out and log back in. Debbie, yes, you're right. You can go to Shinoda with the seller's permit. That's all you really need.
Yep. Done that before. Okay. So I'm doing a 9-inch tail because it's sitting right on top of a 10-inch one. And then I'm going to do a 4.5-inch loop because remember this is our 5. So I'm just going to check measurements. Make sure I get a true 4.5 inches. Why does this loop seem way bigger than what it should? This is like 5.5. We'll have to adjust this. Pull that one back down. I was like, it's 5.5 inches. And then we said 9 is where we'll drop this. Did Karen ever comment?
I haven't seen it.
The copying. Normally what's happening, and if she's just selling supplies, there's not going to be much they can do. Like if somebody snatches an image of a ribbon you're selling or a sign you're selling.
Yeah. I mean, if they're copying your pictures, you can watermark your pictures.
But even still, if you're really good at Photoshop, you can get rid of that watermark too. It's just the nature of what it is that we do. Let's see. This one, we'll see if we have enough of this one. We are going to do, this one's going to be 8 inches. So let's see. This is going to be the last of this that I have. This is going to be another 4.5-inch loop. So the good thing is I really don't have to measure it. I just kind of put my finger in the bottom one, and then that kind of helps become the guide. And there we go. Wow, I saw a flicker. A flicker. We've been having some really super high winds and some storm clouds just blew in. So, who knows? Thought for sure we're going to lose our tree again in the front.
I'll have to log out and log back in because it looks like Karen did reply, but I can't see it.
Who posted? Has anyone been watching The Chosen? I need to get back into that.
Debbie Camacho. She said season 2 is out.
So amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. We watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 1. And And then I think something popped up that we had to kind of postpone doing. I'm going to do this one at 8 as well. And then I'm going to do 4-inch loops. And this.
She said, even after we made a group page, their wording is exactly like ours. We have Regina on board with us, though.
Ooh, nice.
That's awesome for the Provo.
Mm-hmm.
We had a sold UK seller for her bow maker. Yay.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, I mean,
it's tough because you could get an attorney involved and they could possibly send a cease and desist if they're copywriting you or it's plagiarism, but that's about all you can do, right?
It's kind of like you don't own like if it was the name of your company, like
right.
Let's say it's Karen's Wreath Supplies and they are going with Karen's Wreath Supplies too. Kind of don't have you can't copyright Karen, you can't copyright Wreath, you can't copyright supplies. The only thing you can do is just, you can reach out to them really kindly and just let them know, hey, I noticed, your copy is just like ours. And they would probably say, well, it's funny, your copy is just like ours. So people copy paste things all the time. They might like the way I word a description and they like my wording. It's just, I think there's bigger battles to fight. That one to me just isn't a big battle to challenge.
I mean, if you definitely started your shop first before they did, you typically do have kind of like copyright privilege, but it depends on how far you want to take it.
Well, what's copyrighted?
I mean, if they are, like if the website looks exactly like theirs and they're using the same wording, stuff like that. It just depends on what they want to do.
I'd just pick bigger battles to fight. I mean, there's so many people who have subsequently on Etsy capitalized on the word Kats Creations. I mean, I used to be Kats Creations 777 and now there's Kats Creations 707, 717. It's just like, bigger battles to choose. I'm always linking my products to my shop so they don't go anywhere else. You're going to have random people that maybe look at you on YouTube and decide to go try to find you on their own. I don't know. There's enough competition out there for all of us. Competition's what's good for business. Hopefully your customer service will be well above anyone else's. So that stuff is what's going to keep you in business. How you treat your customers. But I know in England it's hard. I am referring all the people to you that are UK wreath makers. I just need you to send me your link of your shop so that I can, because I always get people ask, what's the name of that person that's in the UK that sells supplies? I'm like, all I know is her name. I don't know what her official shop name is yet. So what's your shop name?
Yeah, go ahead and send us your URL on here on your shop name.
Okay, I'm going to pick white for this. Look at that.
If you're a Facebook group page, it needs to be a Facebook business page or start your own website.
What?
Right?
You always have to have a business page.
Yeah.
You can't start a group without a
she said they started a group page, so.
You need to be on a business page, not a group page. Groups are like, you have certain privileges that a business page will get that a group won't. So you can definitely have one for group members, like maybe people who, like, think of it as like a loyal customer type of group. Like people who purchase from you all the time, maybe that's where you get in touch with them on your deals or sales. But I would still run it through a business page. Okay. So this ribbon's a little different because remember where it's hanging from the bottom. So this fluffing method, similar but a little bit different. So I'm going to just secure this on my board so it doesn't move. And then I need all my wreath tails to be at the bottom. So I need to pull everything down. It's like, what's the movie? Finding Nemo? Swim down. Everything comes down. Everything comes down. everything, because it hangs at the bottom. So we don't want willy-nilly ribbon tails going anywhere else. Plus it's going to create a nice spray. But what you can do at the top is you can separate different colors. So we're going to go red and white to the white, and then I'm going to go opposites. So see, everything is still going in the right direction.
Diana, thank you for the 150 stars.
Thanks, Diana.
That's awesome.
Still haven't updated on my page.
Yeah, I'm going to have to log back out and log back in because I'm still missing comments.
So I'm still separating. So I'm just grabbing 2 at a time and picking 2 different colors to go where. Same thing here. I'm going to pull the red down, the white up. Here, I'm going to pull red up and the white down. Okay. And then we have all of our tails coming down. You want to make sure everything is nicely fluffed. So pretty. So, let me kind of show you what that looks like from your perspective. So that's what it looks like to you. So that's what your bow looks like if you're hanging it at the bottom. All your tails need to go to the bottom. Because we don't want it interfering with our sign. We don't want it really competing with anything else. I will just pop that off. Now I'm going to add holes to my sign. Doesn't matter if you go top or bottom, left or right. I don't see a point in doing all 4, but you can. It's just a whole lot of extra work. So I'm going side to side and just a touch in on the blue. This is a 1.5 millimeter beadsmith hole punch. There's that. You can get these at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, but they're going to probably be in the jewelry section because people use them mostly for jewelry making and not necessarily sign making. And I'm just going to use this gauge wire, 22 gauge wire to put this through my sign. In those 2 places. So once we get our sign placed, then we can figure out how far up or down the bow needs to come. Okay, make sure we have even lengths. Just makes it much easier when you go to feed it through or cut it off. So give this a couple twists to make sure that our sign is like wants to lean back instead of like out to the side. Same thing here.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, so we got her. Do have their own website. So okay. I copied it, and they also have a Facebook page name called UK Wreaths and Ribbons.
Nice. Okay, perfect. I will be referring a bunch of people to you.
And then Deborah Cassidy asked, Kat, you use a shipping label printer, and if so, I need to buy one. We did. It didn't work out very well, right? So
I never troubleshooted it. Let's just put it that way, Deborah. It worked for a couple of labels, and then it kind of errored out. I just didn't have the time or the patience to go through and figure out what was wrong. Yeah. It did work really super good. It's the Dymo label maker. Yeah. I think it's like something like a 4XL. I just need to get it done.
But for now, we're back to just printing it off of the regular piece of 8.5 by 11.
So I'm looking at where do I want this to sit? How do I want my bow? Like, do I want it in between? Do I want it over one in particular? It's entirely up to you. I might do it like this. So once I kind of figure that out, it's going to kind of sit right over this blue. It doesn't have to. You can go in between. Then I'm going to take these and get this to go right down through my Deco mesh. And you want to make sure that you have one wire on each side of your frame. So I want to make sure I have some deco mesh to the top. I don't want to be like completely all the way to the top and not have any mesh there. So I'm going to give it like 2 spins, and then I'm going to go check this side first before I make sure it's like, you know, this is like I'm committed to where this is going. Okay, pull this down. So I kind of want, I'm just making sure. Kind of want a little bit of fluff around here. Making sure I have one on each side. Okay. This is what I'm saying. I want to go through and pull some of this out so that we just kind of have a little bit of an edge to the outside of our sign. Just so you have like that little swirlies. Doesn't have to be overly crazy, but just a little bit around the edge. I don't want to sink it too far down. Just a touch. I like to just kind of erase the edges of the sign. So for me, it blurs the edge by having those ruffles around the outside.
Tara said that sign is the most beautiful patriotic sign I have seen so far.
Thank you. That's what I saw. And then that one on the back, which is their freedom sign, I was like, oh my word. I can't begin to describe to you what it looks like in person though. There's the Statue of Liberty on it. It's got the words of the Constitution is on there. It has the we, the people. I guess this is going to kind of be a little bit more in between is how it's sitting right now. Okay, now this, because my bow is going to go here, I need it to lay a little flatter. So I'm going to kind of take my ruffles, kind of move those down so that I have a nice flat space for my bow. Make sure everything is situated correctly.
Karen had asked why wire now instead of pipe cleaner?
Why wire instead of pipe cleaner?
Yeah, for the sign when you.
It looks nicer. I don't have to worry about like, can you see that?
And she can feed it
Also,
through the deco mesh, right?
yeah, that was my main reason. I can get it through the deco mesh much easier, especially when you're doing the jute, because it always seems to get hung up on one little piece of cotton fiber, and then you're forever trying to pull that down, right? Okay, so we're just going to refluff our bow. Don't want to make sure anything is impacting our sign.
Linda, yes, the higher wire gauge number is the thinner the wire.
Yes.
So
Think of it elevation. This is my thing. The higher you go, the thinner the air. Same thing with wire gauges. The higher the number, the thinner the wire. Yeah, that's one of those cat things like, hey, that actually makes sense, right? Okay. So now we're going to go around and add our scatters and fillers to the edges. So these, thankfully, you're starting to see pop up in Hobby Lobby, because Hobby Lobby has all their Patriotic out. So obviously on the blue, I'm going to be attaching the red and the white. So they just slide right on to the ends of my putt planers, which is why I cut them so short. So like there's that one. And then on the white, we can go red and blue. So they come in different sizes. You have, you know, bigger styrofoam balls or smaller ones. It's just preference of the designer. You can go to, you know, double big. You can do one big, one small. I just think it adds a little bit of extra finish to the outside design. And then when we go off camera, Kat will be taking these off. I do them one at a time. So once you poke the hole in it, you can pull it out and see your hole. And then you take your glue gun and you put a little dot right over where you have your hole, and then feed it right back onto your pipe cleaner. And then that's how they stay. They become a permanent fixture. So those are just like, who wants to watch you glue styrofoam balls?
Kathy Concretes are loving this wreath.
Thank you. Hopefully you guys like the design. It has a lot of sparkle, a lot of glitter, a lot of glitter. Okay. And we're back to red and white. I prefer the white with the glitter. Oops. So in Hobby Lobby right now, these are called scatters and fillers. They come red, white, and blue. You can even get the stars. I find that if you stick them in a, what do they call these, Glad containers, you can stack them. So I'm all for square or rectangular shapes because they stack better.
Those are also kind of called base fillers from other places.
Yeah, what's this other one? Bowl and vase filler, which is from Hobby Lobby at Christmas time, which is where some of these came.
Yeah.
So they're just like an ongoing collection. Oop, we needed white. And we're done. And then what I generally do is I add a big blue one right to the center because of the star is so predominantly blue. This is what I did last time. Just add a dab of glue. Put that right in the center of my bowl. So that it kind of ties in what you've done to the outside is now all the way around the outside. Let me make sure all the tails are, they should all be flipped down. The tail ends, the tips have a tendency of going up as you're moving them. Okay, let's put this on the door. Okay, let's switch this one.
Thank you, Pam, for the stars. She sent 50 stars.
Thank you, Pam. Okay, so I'm going to set this one here. And this one is going to go up on the door. So this is a standard 36-inch door. So this is where this design will stay. Get out of the way. Just fluffing my loops a little bit more. Getting everything ready for the photo, because you go outside and do your photo. What I've been finding too helps quite a bit. Let's go up. Video. So if you shoot video of your wreath, a 10 to 20 second video, like start out far on a door so they can see, hey, this is a standard size door. Kind of go into the center, show the sign, kind of go all the way around, and then pan back out. That gives the customer a really good idea of exactly what this is instead of a static, what do you call it, 2D image where it's flat. What other questions do you guys have that I can answer for you?
Marlene said very nice. Mary said very beautiful. Gloria said gorgeous. Debbie asked, when you are storing your wreaths, do you box them and get them ready to ship, or just clear bag and wait till it's sold? A lot of times we just...
They go into the craft room on the existing wall space that's in the craft room. So thankfully with the Patriotics, they don't sit for very long. So they might sit less than 24 hours. So like all the doors in our house have wreath hangers on them. So those are spaces for them to go, but most of them are in the craft room on the wall. But yeah, I don't stick them in the box. And here's the reason why is, let's say for example, you have this edging that might, like if you're shipping it, we try to get them shipped in the smallest boxes possible so it really helps save the customer on shipping. If it's a little too snug and it sits in that box, let's say for example 6 months, that wreath will start to take the shape of the box. And then it's really hard to get it to come back to that shape. You can leave it out in the sun and kind of warm it up and try to get it out of its shape. But they generally stay like in that position. So I try not to put anything over them. You know, if you're gonna do a white bag, just make sure that, like, I usually put a hanger on the back so they can hang up, and I don't have the bag like tight this way so that it's kind of forming that end and then tying it at the bottom. I leave it kind of loose but still tie the bottom.
And then Pam asks, what if I have to box them when I make them? Then you want to get a box that's big enough where it doesn't.
Yes, so I don't make my wreaths any bigger than what would fit in a 24 by 24 by 6 inch box, which means the largest I can go is 26 inches, believe it or not. And then we're good. Like if somebody said, can you do a 36 inch wreath? I can't, because the shipping for that customer would be close to, like for me, where I am in Southern California, most of my stuff is East Coast based. To ship something that size is going to be like $60 to $75. So not worth it. I would probably put them in touch with a local wreath maker, like one of our members, and say, have her do it. Save on shipping. She could, you know, local shipping. You can just go pick it up, save the money. So, okay, Sunday, we are doing a patriotic bike frame, bike wheel, whatever you want to call it, bike rim, floral wreath for patriotic. So join me Sunday at 6. Private group members, we are meeting Sunday at 3 for a totally new design. I just got all the supplies in, so I can't wait to share that with you. So check the member page on Sunday to see what we're making.
Wow, so there wasn't a 1 or 2 questions, but of course I can't see the comments.
Oh, are you logging out, logging back in?
I am, yes. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, Karen said, Karen Stewart, what size of box would a standard 14-inch wreath form and a 15.5 wreath form to courier for shipping?
24 by 24 by 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll, like this one probably easily measures like 25 and a half. Just if you're measuring the edge of the Deco mesh or you're measuring the edge of the ribbon. So you have a longer diagonal dimension, even though that's a 24 box. So as long as you don't go anything bigger than that, you should be okay. Okay. Is that the last question?
This was on a Dollar Tree 14-inch frame. That's it.
Yep. Okay. I will see you guys on Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. or no, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, where we will do the floral patriotic bike wheel rim. I don't know how you say that, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And other than that, have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.